Hey there, this is Beginner 73 making another episode of Knife Talk, and today we're going to be talking about differences in frame locks on folding knives. Now these are all the frame locks I have. You'd think I had more, but that's it, only 4. But, the main differences, you're going to see on a frame lock is, for the actual material, mostly, I'm thinking, for the most part, it's either going to be steel or titanium, a lot of the cheaper ones are steel, but that's just fine. Steel's good, it's just heavy. And then titanium is, more on the higher end. And these 4 are all different, interestingly enough. This Kershaw, let's just compare this Kershaw. This is a shallot, and we'll compare it with the tilt, another Kershaw. Now, these are both frame locks, as you can see. Now, the thing with frame locks that, is deceiving is when you see one, you think that strength is dependent on the thickness of the lock bar. You think, oh, well, the tilt is obviously stronger, it's thicker. Well, not necessarily. If you look down right above my thumbs there, you can see the cutout. Now, on either of these knives, you notice that one, the shallot, the cutout is on the outside. On the tilt, the cutout is on the inside. Now, honestly, I've never experienced any problem with either, but there are people who swear by either one. The most common argument for this one is that, as you can see, it stays in line, with the whole frame. And people will say, oh, if it's on the outside like this, it's not, all the force, this little bit bent out or something like that. I've never seen, the only time I've seen that was on the forum. It's sort of an infamous picture of an Emerson HD7 that was basically put through hell and back, and the frame bowed way out, but it still didn't fail, so that's good. But the knife was virtually destroyed, but it's still locked up. That's the cool part. But on either of these, you'll hear both arguments. Oh, this one's better, this one's better. In my opinion, in my experience, I couldn't even tell the difference between them. It's one of those extremely minute differences on knives that really just ignite rage in people. They'll say, oh, this is better, that's better. The main thing, though, that you will notice is how thick this cutout is left will determine how easy the knife is to disengage. Now, just to compare here in terms of frame locks of similar size and material, the large Sabenza and the tilt have roughly the same thickness tie. Although the tilt is thicker, if I remember correctly, the tilt is 0.185 and the Sabenza is 0.15 thick. Now, when we come to the cutouts down here, if I remember right, again, the tilt was cut, when I measured it, it was 0.04. And that's how thick this metal is right here. And on the Sabenza, you can see how it has sort of this double cut thingy. And on the thinner part of that, at the narrowest, it was like 0.06. And at the top of that little raise in the middle is 0.08. So, at its thickest, the Sabenza is twice the thickness cut out as the tilt. And you can tell, when you disengage a Sabenza, it is harder, at least in my opinion, to disengage than the tilt. The tilt is like really effortless to disengage. Now, some people will say, oh, well, that makes the tilt weak. Well, once again, any of these weaknesses, you're only going to see in extreme hard use. And I think that the blade on this would snap before the lock gave out. That's just my opinion. So, any of these, like this, the frame lock is a proven lock. It's been around for a long time. And really, in my opinion, the differences between thickness of the cutout and if it's on the outside or the inside, it's negligible at best in affecting the knife. Like most things in knives, the differences are only noticeable when you get to the extreme. So if you're putting hundreds and hundreds of pounds on this, probably the blade would break at that point. But if you're subjecting these knives to abuse, then you'll probably notice small differences on whether that, 0.03 of a difference between the locks will mean one's stronger, or if it's on the outside, it'll be stronger, whatever. So, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate the views and the requests, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.